going to be honest with you guys, I don't know if there's a loss that hurts Broncos country more than this one. For all of the hype and the drama of the Hackett Bowl, for it to end with a 10-point loss after a Russell Wilson fumble, scoop, and score, that was a dagger to my heart. Denver now 1-4 with 2 out of the next 3 games against the Chiefs. This was a must-win game if you wanted to salvage anything this season. Instead, they blow a lead for the first half and they lose by 10 to the New York Jets, who I'm not going to take anything away from. They played a good game today. We'll talk about Hackett in a little bit, but credit to that defense. I mean, they held the Broncos to 21 points despite the turnovers from their offensive side of things. But ultimately, Denver's offense just kept sputtering in the second half. Russell Wilson went 20 for 30, 196 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but a very costly fumble. And to be frank with you guys, I'm pretty pissed that the Broncos decided to be a bunch of tryhards at the end of the game, going for it, instead of just accepting their fate and calling timeouts. But whatever. The reality is the Broncos suck. That's what I'm really trying to get to here. This is just not a good football team. And I've said this for a few weeks now. And after beating the Bears, vibes were high. You know, how can they not be? 21-point comebacks are awesome. But Denver is right back to where they were the first 3 games. And that is, they are just not a good team. And I don't think they're going to be a good team at all this season. The receiving leaders for the Broncos, Samaje Perine, 4 grabs, 73 yards, had that huge reception to set up the Adam Trotman touchdown at the end of the game. Jerry Jeudy came up with some nice grabs towards the end. Adam Trotman, 4 receptions, 26 yards, and 1 touchdown. But offensively, they didn't do anything. Like, this was a game of who wants to lose this game more for, I would say, the first 3 quarters, right? You had both teams kicking a lot of field goals in the red zone, both teams turning the ball over constantly. Zach Wilson is addicted to fumbling. You've got turnovers on special teams. No one wanted to win this game. But ultimately, in the fourth quarter, the Jets got the job done. And that's the difference maker here. And Sean Payton should be embarrassed. This is where we talk about Hackett now. Because Hackett was hugging and kissing babies on the sideline like he just had his firstborn child. Everyone went up and shook his hand as if he was the new president of the United States of America. That's embarrassing. It's flat out embarrassing, right? Sean Payton, you want to talk shit about Hackett, you better back it up. Because if you don't, this is where you put the fan base through. I know it's tough on the locker room. They're the ones out there. But damn it, we're the ones on Twitter battling Jets fans. And now we have a 10-point stinker of a loss. Hackett won by 1 in my book. 9 points go to the defense. Safety and the scoop and score at the end of the game. But he still won. So what's your one-word reaction to the Broncos' loss against the Jets? 10-point loss. Drop a one-word reaction down below. For me, bottom of the barrel. One word altogether. Bottom of the barrel. If it's not for the Carolina Panthers, the Broncos might be the worst team in football. They really might be. They are a bad team. And no one wants to hear that. And that's a bummer, but it's the truth. It really is. And I think this team's about to blow it up. Frank Clark, he's getting traded. Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, he's getting traded. Justin Simmons might get traded. They're going to blow this thing up in a moment because they're about to play the Chiefs twice, which, let's be honest, are probably going to be losses. And now you're looking at 1 win going into the NFL trade deadline, maybe 2. Breece Hall, by the way, he might be a top 3 running back at the end of the season. Credit to Vance Joseph. He always finds a way to make the other players look really good. He should be paid by every other team that Denver plays this season. 177 yards, 1 touchdown. Had that 72-yard touchdown run in the second half to put the Jets on top and really put themselves ahead of the Broncos and distance themselves from Denver. But even the Jets, who were trying to lose this game, it was prime Hackett throwing a completed pass inbound to the end of the first half to get no points out of it. But they bounced back in the second half. And Denver, they got nothing. Now, today's show, by the way, is being supported by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports app where all you have to do is pick more or less for 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. Prize Picks is super simple and user-friendly. I spend 1 to 2 minutes on the app every Sunday, and you can see my selections for Sunday Night Football. I'm going with Brock Purdy, less than 247.5 passing yards. I'm going with more for Tony Pollard and Christian McCaffrey total touchdowns at 1.5. And I'll take more Deebo Samuel, 12.5 rushing yards. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. The link for that is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Sorry, everyone. I kind of lost my voice if you couldn't tell, thanks to this team. Russell Wilson, though, not a good game. Like, I'm going to walk that back a little bit. What I need to know when I rewatch this game later is it Russell Wilson sucked, or was it the receivers downfield refused to get open? It just seems like he's not getting any separation at any time. So Russell Wilson did not have a good day, but he's not getting a ton of help from anyone down the field also. It just seems like this whole offense is not very far off from where they were. So for Denver, a lot to work on a short week, keep in mind, going into the Chiefs game on Thursday Night Football. This is the worst type of thing to work on going into the next game, but a lot to work on indeed. I don't know what else to say other than this team is just not a good team. Like, I don't have screaming hot takes right now, right? This team just does not play well. They don't. They haven't played well really at all this year, minus 1.5 quarters against the Bears. You made Zach Wilson look like a potential franchise QB. I feel bad for Pat Surtain. I will not free Pat Surtain because I want him to stay on this team, but I feel bad for him. If I do have one bright note, it's Jaleel McLaughlin. Like Jaleel McLaughlin, we'll talk about him here next year. I do think Javonte Williams' job might be in slight jeopardy because is Jaleel better? I think so. What have we seen from Pookie to really think that he should have this job when he comes back? Every time McLaughlin's on the field, I feel like this team has an impact play in the chamber ready to go. I'm on team start Jaleel McLaughlin. And that sucks because it's not like that I dislike Javonte or I don't want Javonte to play well or anything like that. It's just that you get more from McLaughlin in the receiving department and running, honestly. Like Javonte might be a better goal line back. I'll give him that. But outside of that, I mean, if I had to pick someone, I would pick Jaleel McLaughlin to have a carry over Javonte Williams. Is that a hot take? Let me know. That's going to do it for this, though. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to have more post-game shows, probably like this one all season long. So if you don't want to miss a single thing when it comes to your Broncos, hit the subscribe button down below. The Jets, though, 31-21, they win the Hackett Bowl. They win the Hackett Bowl. That's a gut punch. The Jets social media team was very quick to clown on Sean Payton and the Broncos. And honestly, Sean, you have it coming. You want to call that the worst coaching job in NFL history? You better be prepared to win this game. And that's a Jets team without Aaron Rodgers. Keep in mind. And they still whopped you. Unfreaking believable.